Hey there, guys. Welcome to another episode of Mike's DVDs and Blu-rays collection. I'm your host, Mike, and this is a Western Roundup. These are some Westerns I've watched recently in my big pile of movies. Put my glasses on. First movie I watched, and I was really impressed with this. I wasn't expecting it to be as enjoyable as it was, and I had it set in my pile for a minute. But this is a newer movie with Ethan Hawke. Now, he's done some pretty cool modern westerns here lately. The other one was In the Valley of Vengeance, which was really good. But this movie's really cool. It's called The Kid, and it took me a while to get around to watching it, but it's got a good little cast of younger actors. It's got Dane DeHaan, Jake Schur, which is, I think that's his debut in this. But the Los Angeles Times gave it a really good review. Directed by actor Vincent D'Onofrio, which he did a really good job at it, I must say. But yeah, it's got a great cast. It's basically this brother and sister have a really horrible home life, and the father beats up on the mom and basically kills the mom, I think, kills the mom, and the boy ends up, grabbing the gun. He's about 12, 13, and shoots his own dad, and or maybe he may have even been a stepfather. I'm not sure, but he was part of a gang. A couple of brothers, him and his brother, ran this outlaw gang. So the boy and the girl escape. Eventually, they run into, of all people, Billy the Kid and a couple of his gang members. They're all hiding out in this little abandoned shack. Ethan Hawke is a newly elected U.S. Marshal, I believe, and this is one of his first things yet, and he wasn't a sheriff very long. He's very limited in experience, but he's trying to be true to what he needs to do to his job and everything. So he's on the trail of Billy the Kid, and all these paths cross. You got the Ethan Hawke, and you got the kids, and then you got Billy the Kid. They all kind of intersect, and they all kind of travel. They kind of in a group together, and the kids have to lie to Ethan Hawke about what really happened and why they're on their own and what's going on, where your parents at and everything. So they all kind of, they tell them, oh, they're in Tucson or Santa Fe, and they basically, that's where they're headed, and they're all headed there. And Ethan Hawke, gets Billy the Kid, and there's a couple of escapes, some really good scenes, some really good acting scenes, and I'm trying to think of the actor that plays, Dane DeHaan. Now, I've seen him in a bunch of movies before, but he's really good as Billy the Kid. He's got a really charismatic personality that he brings to the character and stuff. I mean, we've seen countless movies about Billy the Kid over the years. But he's really good, and it's also got Chris Pratt in there, and it's a smaller part. He plays the uncle of the dad. So I guess that was their dad. So he's the brother. Now he wants those kids. He's going to kill those kids for this because I guess the brotherly bond was so strong that he's going to kill his own niece and nephew over this and stuff. But he's got some screws loose, as we find out later on in the picture. But really good, very absorbing, well acted movie, and it kept me completely focused and interested the whole time. Really good. I think even my wife watched it and she enjoyed it and stuff. So, but really good. I really recommend this. This is one of the newer westerns that's come out. And when I say new, this is from 2019. So it's not so new, but new to me, and I really enjoyed it. Next, this is a release from Eureka, and it's been out for a few years. But I only had a DVD copy of this movie, and it's one of those, one of my favorite Westerns of all time. I mean, it is a bona fide classic out of the genre of Westerns, just Hollywood movies of all time. The movie I'm talking about is Shane. And this is a great release. It looks good. It's a big improvement over my DVD copy. I mean, what can I say? Alan Ladd, iconic as the character Shane. Very, very good performance by the little boy. Brandon DeWild, which this was one of his first movies, but it's got a great cast. I mean, listen to this. You got Jack Palance, Ben Johnson, Edgar Buchanan. You got Jean Arthur, Van Heflin, and of course, produced and directed by George Stevens. One of his most well-known movies, 1953. This was just a great movie. One of my favorite Westerns of all time. It has to be. It's just, I don't know. It's one of those movies you can just watch many times. I mean, it's a movie about relationships and friendships and bonds that are formed, and bonds are broken, and bonds, and also, kind of telling the tale of people rising to the occasion. Maybe someone who's not the big macho guy who rises to the occasion when he needs to, as in Van Heflin's character. So, Shane comes to this little homestead, and he basically just kind of stirs up everybody. Jean Arthur, and everybody is magnetized towards Shane and stuff, and his mystery of who he is, where he came from, what has he done. And I think the good of Shane that family brings out of him, because he's probably done some really bad things in his life, but throughout this movie, it's just, man, it's such a good movie, Shane. And I recommend this Eureka copy, but this is Region B, by the way. I'm not sure. I think it is on Blu-ray through Paramount in the U.S. Now this was another big surprise that I didn't think was going to be a big surprise to me. This is another Region B release. This is through Indicator, which, man, I have to agree. A lot of people have said Indicator is one of the best labels out there, and I really do agree with that. I mean, they really put every little thing into this. The booklet, the disc, the supplements, the case, everything. The movie I'm talking about now is Death of a Gunfighter, directed by, it says Alan Smithy, which famously this would be the first movie that a director didn't want his name on the movie. So they came up with the pseudonym of Alan Smithy. But in actuality, it's directed by Don Siegel. But man, this is a great movie. Richard Widmark, Lena Horne, John Saxon, another movie with Carol O'Connor, and really good movie. I mean, basically, Richard Widmark plays the sheriff of this town, and they're wanting to be more modern. And they want to escape their frontier days and days of outlaws and have this more modern town with a train that comes in. And we're modern and we're big and bringing in all the stuff, the townsfolk, the mayor and all the shopkeepers, the little who's who, of the town wants everything like this. But they have one problem. Richard Widmark is their sheriff, but he's one of these guys who gets his man, and he's kind of infamous for shooting people. But, he's conflicted with his job. It's like, how can I deal with these outlaws like this, and it's just a confliction. And it shows the end of an era and the beginning of another era. They're wanting to move forward and have this and that, and and everything. But it's basically, you know, he's a man of his own thing, and it's really good. I can't even go into explaining this, but this disc is really good, and I do really recommend it. It's a lot better than I even imagined the first time watching it. It's really good. It's got a lot of great supplements on here, and it's got a pretty big booklet, which I need to bring this out and just read the booklets. I mean, they're like little books, you know. But there you go, Death of a Gunfighter. It's available on DVD through, I think, Universal. But this is a Region B, so it's Region B locked. Next up, this isn't Region B locked. This is Region A, and this is a DVD of Steve McQueen and Tom Horn. I recently did a Steve McQueen episode where I featured this, but I was able to watch it for the first time. I think I mentioned in that video that I hadn't watched it yet, or if I had, it's been many years. But I watched it, and this was a kind of a similar thing to Death of a Gunfighter. I mean, Tom Horn is, you know, this man, and that, you know, lives by his own convictions, you know, and when he's paid to hunt down someone, he's going to hunt him down and kill him or whatever, you know, and it gets to the point in the movie where he can't be controlled anymore by anybody and stuff, and he's almost, you know, a problem to himself and everything. But really, I mean, very good movie, directed by William Ward. Steve McQueen produced this movie also, but really interesting movie. I believe this came out in, I want to say 1980. This was the next to the last movie he would make before he passed away from cancer, and this was his last Western he would make. But it's got a great cast: Linda Evans, Richard Farnsworth, Billy Greenbush, Slim Pickens. It's got a great strong cast in this, and but yeah, it's you know, he's an enforcer. He's supposed to help out this, you know, rancher to help keep people off the land and stealing horses and whatnot, and he just kind of goes too far in the eyes of everyone. And to a certain degree, I thought he kind of went too far towards the end, where he kind of came off the rails a little bit, just slightly before the end, but you know, that's his character, you know, and really good. So I enjoyed Tom Horn very much. Now this is a Blu-ray upgrade of a really good movie that I have, but I wanted to get the Blu-ray because it's in such a nice package, and the Paramount Presents series have put out some really good ones, and I think this one is pretty good in my opinion. This is Last Gun, or The Last Train from Gun Hill, starring Kirk Douglas and Anthony Quinn. And this was famously filmed in VistaVision. In the case, you got this poster recreation where it opens up. It's really nice. Slipcase. And the other thing was, I wanted to grab this before the slipcases were gone, because I don't know if they're going to quit, you know, putting them out that way or what. But really good movie. I mean, this is a tale of Kirk Douglas. He's out of town. He's the sheriff? Let me see. Yeah, he's a marshal. He's the marshal of the town. Now, he's away. The wife and son are on their way back to town when they're kind of stopped by a group of young men. I don't know if they were drunk or what they were doing, because she's a Native American, or she's mixed Native American or whatever it was, and they were taunting her and doing this. So they end up raping her and killing her, and I think killed the son and everything. And then when Kirk Douglas finds this out, you know, he's enraged, and he wants to find out who did it. But it comes down to it's the son of his former best friend, and someone who he worked with, which was Anthony Quinn. Now, he lives out of town a little bit, and he's got his own thing going on. But I think he admits to his father that he did this and who he was. And I think Anthony Quinn came to Kirk Douglas and tried to smooth everything over, and it didn't work. So it ends up being this suspenseful tale of, kind of slightly, I guess, a revenge and stuff like that, and trying to get justice out of this and everything. But a very good movie, directed by John Sturges. I wouldn't say this is one of his early movies, because this came out... When did this come out exactly? 1959. So this is the year before The Magnificent Seven. I think he had already made, what is it? Gunfight at the OK Corral. Yeah. Gunfight at the OK Corral. And here's the older edition that I have on DVD, which is, pretty common. You probably have seen that. But yeah, this is a big difference in the two, package-wise and looks and everything. And this was restored in a 6K process, film transfer. It looks really good, and they really kind of restored that VistaVision look. Because when you really get to see the VistaVision as it's intended, it really does look cool. It's a wider but yet taller film, so you only got a little bit of black bar on there on the screen and stuff, but it kind of opens it up to where you can see bigger images and stuff. So really cool. I recommend that. Last Train from Gun Hill, super good movie. And finally, guys, with the news of Raquel Welch passing away, probably a couple months now, had me thinking about watching some of her westerns and stuff like that. I mean, she's really good in a movie called Hanny Calder, which I've covered before. But I wanted to rewatch a movie that I hadn't seen in a while, and it's really good. This may be the third time I've seen it. But I put in 100 Rifles to check that out. This is a really nice Kino Blu-ray release. It's got a great Jerry Goldsmith score. This is directed by Tom Grise, who made Will Penny, and really good. Burt Reynolds, Raquel Welch, and Jim Brown star in this, and it's got a few other nameable people, but this was in 1969. And Burt Reynolds is really good. The younger Burt Reynolds, right before the 70s, where he became a megastar, really good, and stuff like that. So it's a great. It's got the look of a spaghetti western. I think it was filmed over there, but basically by American crew and stuff. So it's kind of an honorary spaghetti western in a way. But anyways, very good, very entertaining. The beautiful Raquel Welch will be missed. But we do have her films to watch, to remember her by, and 100 Rifles is a great starting place. So there you go, guys. There's another movie I want to rewatch called Bandoleros that has her and Jimmy Stewart in it and stuff. I want to rewatch that too. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching this episode. Please comment. Let me know what you think about these videos. And give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell for notifications when I release new videos. So until next time, guys, watch good movies. And I'm going to head off to the sunset, guys. So I'll see you later.